While America's psychopathic President Donald Trump continues to make posts about himself on President's Day, we got word that there was another plane crash involving an American plane into Canada. Fortunately, no deaths as of this recording. At least 8 people are injured. According to paramedics, it was a Delta flight carrying roughly 80 passengers from Minnesota into Toronto's Pearson Airport. Again, no casualties reported as of this time, but numerous photos and videos have been released showing passengers safely exiting the plane, which flipped upside down. As Hassan says, all this time it was literally DEI or die, and we didn't realize it. As we've been reporting and others have been reporting as well, Donald Trump has been firing hundreds from the FAA, despite the 4 deadly crashes on his watch already. This is yet another crash as well. A Democratic Congress member, Steve Cohen, says Trump just fired hundreds of FAA tech and maintenance workers, the people who keep radar, landing, and navigation systems running amid a string of recent plane crashes, including in D.C. and Alaska. This is dangerous and it undermines public confidence in air travel. Reverse this absurd decision now. That post was before this crash in Canada. And the Minnesota senator back on February 6, 2025, Senator Tina Smith, who's been on our program before, said Elon Musk and his interns meddling in aviation safety is truly terrifying. You go back to the report I did this morning, and it was the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, who got famous for being on The Real World and the Real World Road Rules Challenge, who was basically posting saying, hey, public, we'd love for you to help us figure out how this equipment works. Go back to the video I did earlier before the news about this Delta flight that flipped upside down in Canada. So we have that happening. What we also have happening as well is Russia's propaganda networks have posted the photographs of the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio landing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where they will be having a bilateral meeting, U.S. and Russia, while they cut out intentionally Ukraine and they cut out Europe from these negotiations that will impact Europe and Ukraine most. This was an intentional slap in the face and a dangerous one to Europe and Ukraine, who are perceiving the threat because you now have an emergency meeting taking place as of this recording in France that's being led by the French President Emmanuel Macron. And then you have all of these European leaders from democracies who are meeting there, not the undemocratic ones like Hungary. So just think a look at this image. You have, Rubio and Lavrov, the U.S.-Russia alliance. How utterly horrific. And then you have over here this image of Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK, and Emmanuel Macron, the President of France, meeting with each other in France. We're also learning that the U.S. is intending to pull out its military presence from the Baltic states, which would hand a massive, massive win to Russia as well. America essentially capitulating to Russia each and every day. We also learned moments ago, as the Trump Media financial report was released, Trump Media, this is the company that controls Truth Social, they lost $400 million last year. They filed their 10K report. I'll do a deeper dive on this 10K report because wowzer, it is illuminating in a bad way for Donald Trump. The revenue declined 12% to just 3.6 million. We're not talking about profit or EBITDA, which would still, in my view, be small for a company like this. Their entire revenue for all of 2024 on the company being run by Donald Trump was 3.6 million in revenue on 400 million in losses. But you should ask yourself, money just doesn't get lost. Money goes somewhere. So where was that $400 million going to that's viewed as a loss? Meanwhile, as DOGE and Musk continue to fire people in the government, key government jobs, you have Elon Musk making posts like this. What is happening here? And then it says, breaking image released of the migrant mom that stormed a Birmingham hospital armed with axes and blades. It's literally a picture from Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. This is who is using his algorithms and AI to cut all of these critical employees who are necessary for the safety of our country. I've said it before and let me say it again. Under Donald Trump, America is no longer safe. So in addition to Canada boycotting the United States tourism because of America's threats of annexation under Donald Trump, it's also, they've fired all of these people. Like, it's not a safe place for food and flight anymore, which is horrible to even think about, but it's just the reality.
I have to tell you about this game-changing product that I use before a night out with drinks. It's called pre-alcohol. Now let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I thought I had to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is, until I found pre-alcohol. Now let me tell you, if there's a surefire way to wake up feeling fresh after a night of drinking, it's with pre-alcohol. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic Drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle roughnecks mornings after drinking. And here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. I'll be honest, I was skeptical about pre-alcohol at first, but then one weekend I was hanging out with a few friends over at my favorite bar and I thought, why not give it a shot? So I drank it before my first cocktail, my go-to old-fashioned, and you couldn't believe just how on top of my game I felt the next morning. Every time I have pre-alcohol before drinks, I notice a difference. Even after a late night, I can confidently plan on hitting the gym, running errands, or just enjoying a full day without worrying. With pre-alcohol, I can stay on track and not let winter travel or celebrations like Valentine's Day, the Super Bowl, and Mardi Gras throw me off course. Go to zbiotics.com/Meidas to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use Meidas at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/Meidas and use the code Meidas at checkout for 15% off.
And also, here's how they're running our government right now. So now they've created official government accounts like this, DOGE IRS, and here's the post, DOGE IRS. DOGE is seeking help from the public. Please DM this account with insights on finding and fixing waste, fraud, and abuse relating to the Internal Revenue Service. As Olga Lautman says, what in the hell is this? What a lawless country the United States of America is right now. They're posting DOGE IRS, give us tips, Twitter or now X, about what's going on. What, while they fire career people who actually knew what they were doing? But what's Donald Trump doing? Donald Trump is posting the following. After just 17 frenetic days, Trump has already delivered a big part of his agenda. What's that? Was it the plane crashing agenda? Was it crashing planes? Was that part of the agenda? Was it the destabilizing Ukraine, Europe, and the rest of the world agenda? Was it, was the agenda to pressure Romania to lift restrictions on Andrew Tate, who is charged and being prosecuted for sex trafficking with underage girls? Was that the frenetic days delivering a big part of the agenda? I mean, what else would you expect, though, with Donald Trump, who was close pals with Jeffrey Epstein, someone like Donald Trump who said he bought beauty pageants, and one of the things he liked to do was look at the women or the girls naked in the locker rooms without their consent. Or Donald Trump said that Epstein's a great guy who likes women on the younger side. I guess what else would you expect right there? But by the way, prices ain't going down. Prices are going up, up, up right now. And by the way, you want to take a look at what's in Donald Trump's 10K filing to the SEC from Trump media? Take a look. This is what Trump's filing says. Currently, the U.S. economy is experiencing a bout of increased inflation, resulting in rising prices. The U.S. Federal Reserve, as well as its counterparts in other countries, have engaged in a series of interest rate hikes in an effort to combat rising inflation. Although inflation did not have a significant impact on our results of operations for the years ending December 31, 2024, we anticipate that inflation will have an impact on our business going forward, including through a material increase in our cost of revenue and operating expenses in the coming years, if not permanently. Continued or permanent rises in core costs could impact our growth negatively. That's Trump's company posting that. So prices are surging, going up, up, up. Housing is less affordable. Pricing's hitting record highs. Gas prices are going up. It's not a good situation. He's crashing our economy right now. And also, he's crashed law and order. 4 of the top deputies for Mayor Eric Adams in New York, they just announced they are resigning. Some of the top people in the office: Deputy Mayor Maria Torres Springer, Deputy Mayor for Operations Mira Joshi, Deputy Mayor of Health and Human Services Ann William Isom, and Deputy Mayor for Public Safety Chauncey Parker said that they were all stepping down right now after the quid pro quo deal between Trump's DOJ to dismiss charges against Mayor Eric Adams for bribery for foreign companies and foreign countries, rather, without prejudice for Mayor Eric Adams to pursue the MAGA agenda. And so all of those people are resigning right now. Like, the good people are resigning, unfortunately. That follows 7 federal prosecutors resigning, including lots of right-wing conservative lawyers who refused to dismiss the case when they were demanded to because they thought it was unethical and or illegal. And also, our State Department is kind of undermining the way America's had a very delicate balance between rejecting China's sovereignty over Taiwan, but also kind of respecting China's one China policy. It's been a very delicate balance over many decades for America to kind of pursue this diplomatic tightrope walk with China so that we can defend Taiwan's sovereignty, but also not piss off China as part of an, because they're an international trade partner, even though there's an adversarial relationship. So one of the things Trump's State Department did is they deleted language that respected at least China's claim over Taiwan, despite America still defending Taiwan's sovereignty. I know it gets wonky, but it's pissed off China that basically said, you're going to now cause severe damage to the China-U.S. relations and cause severe damage to peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. So what the Trump State Department is destabilizing everything in Europe, destabilizing everything in Asia right now. And while this is going on, Donald Trump was taking laps yesterday in NASCAR around the track with his motorcade to project the strong man image, which really just looked like embarrassing. It just looked like Kim Jong-un, basically. So those are your core updates here about what's going on. While you have Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, threatening to arrest AOC for providing migrants with what their rights are, about what the interactions are with ICE and what you can do here. Play this clip.
AOC and others don't want ICE to enforce the laws that they enacted. She's a member of Congress. Let us enforce the laws you enacted. That's what we're supposed to do.
You can't go after her. Do you think others should?
No, I think I've asked DOJ, where's that line of impediment, of interference? Now, if someone stands in your way, prevents you from arresting somebody, put your hands on it, that's impediment. But what line is telling people to hide from ICE, not open the door? Where do you cross that line on impediment? So I simply asked the Department of Justice, give us that line.
You have talked to them about this. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, and then you also have one of Donald Trump's cabinet members, Doug Burgum. Here he's like, I've never seen anybody look more powerful than how Donald Trump did when he went around the track. Here, play this clip.
When we saw him take that victory lap of sorts going around the track, he seemed to be digging it.
Well, Steve, watching President Trump in the Beast, leading the pace car, leading a field of the most talented drivers in the world, kicking off the entire NASCAR season for America. When he was doing that, it reminded me of how he's actually leading the world right now. I had an opportunity to be with him, with Prime Minister Modi from India, with the Prime Minister of Japan, and the world is looking to President Trump for his leadership, and he's out in front, and everybody's following his lead. And wow, is that great for America and great for the world.
Well,
and look, folks, unfortunately, the Kim Jong-un style propaganda, it does, I want to be honest, like it appeals to a group of people who are like, yeah, look how tough it is. And when you have billions of dollars in propaganda behind it, it appeals to a group of Americans, 35% of Americans. They will love Gulf of America. Look, he's riding around the motorcade in the track. We're back, baby. Even as their rights and jobs are being taken away, but there's nothing you can do about those people. This is the reality. What we have to do, though, is speak loud with our microphone here. Why we got to grow to 5 million subscribers and then beyond, because we got to speak to Americans who are apathetic, who may not be following politics, who decided not to vote this election. Trump got under 50% of the vote. Tens of millions of Americans did not vote. We have to speak to them. And look, Trump's popularity is decreasing. The new YouGov poll has him underwater. I think the approval rating's mid-40s. It should be lower, but this is also the honeymoon period, which is rapidly fading fast. But we'll keep you posted every step of the way. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe and let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.